let's we'll start up again on part 2.
How do you do that? Are you erasing what you had
No.
before?
No, just what it
Part
does,
two.
it starts. So what we'll do is to just end this part here, and what can we look for you to do coming up?
Well, I have Mansion of Blood coming out, and in which I'm an actress and a singer, and I have some other songs in that. And I'm about to shoot a film, The Hitchhiker Massacre, and I have Nail House coming out that you're in. You're in Nail House with me.
So you'll get to see me there too. And then Money to Burn is supposed to be done editing and be out soon as well.
Oh, and please go to orphansinthestorm.com.
Right, yeah, you mentioned that
And
earlier.
that's the project that we're doing for the orphans with David Bartlett. And I also have a film, I guess I have a couple songs in a film that he did about the greatest knife maker, Robert Lovelace, the American legend, but I'm not in that as an actress,
Right.
which is rare, usually.
Well, it's nice to see a family that cares about each other, and I've been sitting here listening to you two, and all you've been doing is praising the rest of your family, which has really been lovely to hear. Which is something nice that you don't hear much today.
Yeah, we've got such an amazing, we don't get together as often as we'd like. We have a really amazing family, but my Aunt Kansas is in Australia right now, so we got to talk once over the phone. I'm sure that phone bill was really expensive because I talked to her for like an hour and a half on my cell phone. But other than that, it's been via email and stuff. So it's like, you hold on to these wonderful things that you have, and not only do we have relationships with these people, but these people are pursuing their dreams, and that's why we don't get to see them so much, is because they're out there doing what they love. So my mom's singing, and she's now pursuing her acting career. I was normally focusing on my acting career, now pursuing motherhood at the moment, really focused on that. My sister, she's doing her art. My Uncle Free is doing his martial arts. My cousin Martha Plimpton, she's not only doing that show, Raising Hope, but she's also...
I didn't know she was your cousin. I know Martha from New York.
Yeah, she's Keith's daughter.
Oh. You know her mother.
I know her mother. Yeah.
And so, and so Martha, she's also...
Shelley. Shelley.
Shelley, yes.
Right.
But I mean, Martha I didn't know was... I remember her from many years ago in New York.
Yeah, and well, she's doing great for herself, and she's also a really strong voice for women's movements and women having a voice with their bodies and things like that. So she's been really working on those aspects. And then, my cousin Ever with her acting career, and her husband with his... Kobe with his music. It's like everybody's doing what they love, and it's such a wonderful thing, because in most families, like the family that I'm, now part of, most people, work day jobs, and, they do what they need to do to get by and to take care of their families, and for, goals outside of their career, like if they want to travel or they want to do, and for our family, they get to do what they love as their career.
You get to be a gunslinger, you get to be a vampire, you get to be a rock star.
Well, for the
you
actors,
get to be an astronaut.
But even like the artists and the singers and the dancers, we have all these...
So what you're saying is never a dull moment in your family.
And it's just, but it's such a wonderful thing, because normally, if you were sitting around and we were here talking about, our baker family and all the breads they've been making, we would just be as passionate and excited about them, but it wouldn't be as interesting to the rest of the world, except maybe the baking community.
I read a book about a caterer that I just love.
Yeah.
Someone gave me the book.
Can be really exciting.
She said,
it's artistic
She
too.
said, this is from Kathleen, who wrote the Nail House, which we just did. And I said, this is a really huge book. I'm not into it. I like the Reader's Digest. She says, no, this is your Christmas present, and I think you should read this. I says, I think this book was for you. It's about a caterer. She says, after all she's done for us, I really think that you should read this book. And I'm like, fine, I'll read the book. And I couldn't put it down. I could not put it down. They would get you on the edge of your seat, and they had half of the people were in Ireland. And as soon as now when you would finally forget what was going on with this part of the family, just forget for a second, they'd go back to it.
Yeah.
Right? And then they trail off into another part of the family, and all this is going on, and you keep thinking about, but what about this, and when are they going to find out about this, and what are they going to do about this, and as soon as you forget it, they're off to another place.
Kathleen.
Oh, they'd go back to it, or to somewhere. It's a wonderful book.
Kathleen Lore, who is an amazing scriptwriter as well as a brilliant writer, every book she's ever recommended to anybody, anytime she's handed a book to somebody, they've always loved it. And I knew my mom would do that because my mom is such an active
all
person.
Night reading this thing.
She's such an active person. She's like, oh, a book?
I can't sit still.
I can't sit still read a book. I'm like, you need to read this book because every single person that I've ever seen Kathleen give a book to, they've went, oh my gosh, this is the perfect book for me. She just has a knack. And it's probably because she's a writer. She can just open the book, look at a page, and go, oh, this will be perfect for so-and-so.
Well, I was into this thing where I would read Hitchcock stories because I could start it, end it, not be up very long, go to sleep, right? Like we used to watch them, you'd watch it in a half an hour, you'd know who'd done it, and go to bed, right? And she gives me this book, and I'm just going to read to the end of the chapter. I'm going to read to the end of the next. I'm up all night.
That happens with
but it was a great experience, wasn't it?
And my other daughter, though, she says it's a chick book.
Yeah, well, but it was a good one for you.
It was called The Scarlet Feather.
But Sienna is a bit of she's kind of a feminist in a way.
She's very dark.
And she likes
dark things.
And
yes,
she likes
hates
masculine,
the color pink.
And she's very much, she likes.
I wouldn't call that a feminist, really.
But she's.
I guess
she's she's got some. I love my sister, but she's very.
She's very creative.
No, she's incredibly creative, but she's got she definitely marches to her own beat of a drum, but she's got a very, different take on the world. And when it comes to like the overly feminine, motherly, girly type stuff,
I don't think she likes
has no interest in
the
it.
stereotypes or confinements that go along with.
But she creates stereotypes and confinements where they don't exist, like the color pink. You know that the color pink was initially for royalty boys. It was for baby boys.
Really?
Yeah, but
interesting.
Back.
So should I buy pink clothes for yours if it's a boy?
See, she wants me to find out. We're gonna be surprised. We're doing green right now.
I thought I saw something in that sonogram, but
my tech even said she didn't know.
Your daughter said, "No, Mom, no, Grandma, that was a leg."
That was a leg.
Well, but it wouldn't matter if they did see. My daughter wants a little sister so bad that even if it was really, really clear, she'd go, it's got to be wrong. And this one wants a grandson so bad that if it was really, really clear, she'd say, it's got to be wrong. So they can continue this debate until the day the baby comes, and we'll find out.
Well, with that, we're going to end this. And I really want to thank both of you. This was really interesting. What a conversation that went on here. I mean, it really was.
Well, thank you for having us. I didn't even know I was going to be here today. So
that's what makes it work. When people don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, no, this is.
And it was really, really lovely. And I want to thank both of you.
Thank
you.
All
right, and we'll do this again, really, Calista. All right.
Take care.